Let us try to solve the problem number 3 in the part A of C Sharp and .NET Lab. The exercise is as follows. Design a VB interface to add, remove, search and clear the items in a combo box. The item name to be added, removed or searched can be accepted through an input box. Use a general procedure to find the existence of an item before deleting or while searching. So what does this problem says is we have a combo box and we are supposed to add, remove or search for an item, and we are supposed to write a procedure to find the existence of an item. So let's look at that one, and then let's try to create a pb.net project, and then let's see how we can solve this particular problem. So I'm going to go to my Visual Studio and I'm going to click on the file new, and I'm going to click on the new project, file new, and the project. And within the project I'm going to select the language as VB, that is the Visual Basic. And within the Visual Basic I'm going to click on the Windows, and we have the Windows Form application. As usual, give a proper name and store at a proper location. Let me click OK, and our Visual Studio Code will start. And in this particular project we are supposed to put a combo box, that is for sure, and then we are supposed to add few buttons. Those are going to do the wonders for us. So let's go ahead and let's proceed with the project. I have the blank form with me, and let's look at what am I supposed to do it. I am supposed to add, remove, search and clear the items from the combo box. So I'm going to create so many buttons, add, remove, search and clear buttons, and I'm going to put one combo box in the form now. So let me go ahead and let me do that part. I'm going to go to the toolbox, and within the toolbox, let me zoom in. You can search for the button, or by clicking here, or because the button is directly visible, I'm going to just double click on this button. When I double click on this button, the button will appear on the form. And if you look at here, I need 1, 2, 3 and 4 buttons are there. So other way is you can just click and add the buttons, but I'm not going to do that thing. I have one button with me, and I'm going to press the control button and click and drag. So this will be my second button. Again, press the control button, click and drag. This will be my third button, and click and drag. This will be my fourth button. So we have the buttons for these things, that is for add, remove, search and clear. What we need is one combo box. So let's go to the toolbox again, and in the toolbox you can search for the combo box if it is visible, or by typing the combo here, or you can directly double click on this one. So if you search here, it's going to come like this, combo box. You can just search like this, or you can double click on the list that is available. So let me double click on it. In any case, it's going to come, and when I double click on it, you notice that the combo box has appeared here, and I'm supposed to get one more button here. Let's say I think that button has been replaced. Okay, let's see. So we have 4 buttons and a combo box in front of those buttons. So this is what we have. Let me quickly change the properties of this button. So I'm going to go to the first button, right click on it, and then say properties. So I get the properties for that button. Let me pin this one. So it is pinning, not the closing, just pin this one. And when you pin it, you get the different options. So for the first button, I'm going to say add, and for the second button, let me zoom out for you. And for the second button, what we have here is add, remove, search and clear. For the second button, I'm going to say add, remove, And for the third button, I'm just clicking on the button and I'm just changing the text of this particular button. I'm not doing any new things over here. For every button, I'm just changing the text property of the button, and I'm going to say I'm searching. And finally, I have the last button, and that button is the clear button. So we have so many buttons over here. Add, remove. I'm just what I've done is for every button I have changed the text property of this particular button. For all the button I've done that thing. So that's the only thing I am doing it. And let me slightly get it back. Okay, so this is how it's going to appear. Maybe I can go to the form here, and I can click on the form and right click and say properties. It is already there, but let me do it one more times. So the property is already there. I can click on this form, and then the name is form 1 here. If you notice, the text is form 1 here. I'm going to say combo box. Okay, you can give any name, but I'm going to give a combo box demo. You can give anything. Any name is valid, but any name you can give it here. Combo box valid. They have not asked for a specific name. So this is how it's going to appear. So when you click on this add, we are supposed to add it. When you click on the remove, we are supposed to remove it, search, and so on and so forth. However, they have said that you write one procedure that is going to check whether the general procedure that is going to find whether the existence of an item before you delete it. So what's the meaning of that is in this combo box, you have to first search whether an item exists. If the item exists, don't add it. If the item does not exist, add it. So we have to check whether such an item exists or not. So let's write a procedure for that. So what you can do is let me double click on the add procedure first, add button first. So I can double click on, let me remove this check mark, it's not really required. So let me click on this add button. When you double click on this add button, you're going to get the button click event, and I have clicked on the double clicked on this add button. I have the procedure. Now I'm going to write my own procedure. So that's what they said. Write your own procedure, but I'm going to write a function because I want to return something back. So let me say private, and I'm going to say function. So I'm going to say function, and I'm going to give it a name as is found. You can give any name, and I'm going to pass a string. Let me take it as small case string str as a string. Okay, so that's my function. Now this function must return something, and I'm going to return a boolean value. Okay, so what is this boolean value is when I search within this particular combo box, if the item exists, I say true. If the item does not exist, I say it is false. So let me declare a variable. Okay, let me make this one a small case o. Okay, let's say item exists. Okay, let me assume that it is true. Now what is this I have written? So I assume, this is my assumption, I assume that the item exists. So this is what is the meaning of it. I assume that the item exists. If the item does not exist, it is well and good. Okay. Suppose if you say that false here, what is the meaning of false? Okay. What is the meaning of it? You assume that the item does not exist. So either you can be optimistic or pessimistic. You can say anything. Suppose if I say item does not exist, in that case I have to prove that the whatever my assumption is true or not. If you say item exists, if you make this as true, you have to somehow search and find and then say it is really true or not. Okay, so now I'm going to be pessimistic. Now I'm going to say that item does not exist. Now I have to prove that item exists. So this is my assumption. Assumption cannot be true. We have to search and find out whether such a thing exists or not. So what I have to do here is I have to search for something. Okay, the within the combo box I have to search for something. Okay, so this is the idea. Now I've just given you an idea what you can do. Okay, it's not really required, but just an idea. So whenever you initialize a variable, that means you start assuming that something exists or something is there or something is not there, but that itself cannot be a conclusion. You have to go through the uh, steps and find out that whether it is really true or not. Now that's not really required, but this is my assumption, even though I'm not writing it, so don't write that particular thing. I just assume that the item does not exist, and I have to then prove that whether that is true or not. So how am I going to do that thing? I'm going to search and say that the item exists or not. So let's go to this combo box, and within this combo box I'm supposed to search. How do I do that? For every item, see, this is the combo box. You see there some 2 or 3 items will be there. This is also a combo box. Many items are there. I have to go through all the items and then check whether the given item exists or not. For example, suppose you have this scenario over here, and if I say whether the debug exists or whether the release exists, whether this particular item that you have release exists. So if I say this string, if I say this string as a release, okay, if I say this is the release, I have to search through all the items which are there in this combo box. Search through all the items in the combo box and then say whether that is true or not. So how do you search? You have to go through individual item, check whether that is true, check whether that is true, check whether that is true. So this is the search string. So somebody can say, can you search whether there is a item called as bus within this combo box? So within this combo box, whether there an item bus is there or not. What you have to do in that case is you have to go here, go through all the items. It may be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 10, any items may be there. Go through all the items one at a time, take one item at a time, and then start comparing it with the given string. If the string matches, then the item exists. If the string does not match, the item does not exist. So this is as simple as that. So we have to go through all the items which are there in the combo box. Okay, not this combo box, the combo box that we have it here. So how am I going to do that thing? So for that, I'm going to say for. So there is look at the 2 loops are there. We have for and for each loop. 2 loops are there. I'm going to say for each item. So whatever item you have, so there are 3 items are there. For every item at a time, you are going to remove one item. So you may have many items here. Take one item at a time and then start searching it. For each item, so I'm going to say for each item in the combo box, my combo box is combo box 1. If you look at here, the name of this combo box, if you look at the property of this particular combo box, the name of it is combo box 1. Notice that is a combo box 1. So for each item in the combo box 1, remember combo box 1 contains lot of items. For each item within this combo box, so which combo box contains lot of items. So what I am saying is for each item, if you want I will make it as capital T. So for each item within this collection of items, so there are a lot of items which are there. In this case there are 3 items are there. So you have a lot of items are there. What you are supposed to do is for each item within the list of items, so within this list of items, for each item within the list of items, you are supposed to do something. What is that you are supposed to do? So in other words, you pick up where is this combo box? You pick up one item at a time. You pick this item, one item at a time, and then search whether this item is equal to the given item. So this is the item that is to be searched. So this is a search item, and this is the item that you have extracted from the combo box. So compare whether the item that is extracted out of this combo box, is it equal to the given item or a given string. If they are equal, then the item exists. If they are not equal, then go for the next item and then do the same thing. Take the second item and compare whether this item is equal to the item that is given to you. If the item given to you does not match with the item that you've taken, then go for the next item. So then take this item and then start comparing it with the given item. If it is not matching, item does not exist. Suppose if there is at any place if the item matches, then your assumption is true. So this is what you are going to do. So suppose if the given string is equal to the item, what is this item, then your assumption is true. Okay, you are going to say return true, item exists. So that's simple as that. Okay, so this is look at this the logic. So what does this logic says is you have a combo box that contains let me take the color as red. So you have a combo box that contains lot of items. So this combo box has a lot of items. At one time you are going to pick up one of the item from this combo box. You are going to pick up one item and you are going to compare that item with the item that is given to you. So the item that is given to you, this item, you are going to compare them whether they are equal. If they are equal, that's the end of it. You don't have to search for the next item. You got the item is there. Suppose if you say whether the bus exists in this list, suppose if their list contains bus, then it's over. You say that okay, it is there. Suppose you when you start searching, if they are not equal, if you don't find the item, so given item and the extracted item from the combo box does not match, then what are you going to do? You are going to take the next item. Do the same thing. Take the item and compare it with the given item. See whether they are equal. If they are not equal, go for the next item. Okay, you do it until the entire list is exhausted, until you don't have any more items with you. If you find that after comparing all the items, see there are a lot of items are there, for every item that you have removed and you have compared every item here, so all the items are compared and you find that they are not equal, given string is not equal to the item, in that case you say that return false, the item does not exist. So it's as simple as that. So either you say item exists or you say item does not exist. So this is the idea. So when you start comparing it, compare all the items with the given item. If they are matching, you say true. If after comparing all of the item, if you find that the item does not exist, then you say that no, we are not going to get that item anymore in the list, and we say it is false. So let's come back to this button now. So this is not the button. So our button story was to add. So this is where I'm supposed to add it. So what is that I'm going to do over here? Okay, in the question, if you look at the question, what they have said is accept the input through a input box. So this is what you are supposed to do it. Okay, so you are supposed to show a input box. I'm going to just type a input box. So let's say input box, and I'm going to say enter the item name. Okay, and I'm going to give a title to this one, saying that add new item. Say let's say add new item. This is going to be title. Okay, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to just run this one. Let's see how it is going to appear when you type this input box. How is it going to appear on the screen? So let me just run it. I'm not doing this. The program is not complete. Just to tell you, if you type input box, how is it going to appear on the screen? So when you run this particular thing, this is how it's going to appear. See, I'm going to click on this button one. When you click on this button one, you notice you get a input box. Okay, this is what is called as input box. Okay, so you notice that this is the input box. So this whole thing that you see here is the input box. Okay, and you see enter the item name. So this whatever you have written, enter the item name, it's going to come here, and this is the title, item, add a new item. This is the title that you see here. Okay, so this is what you have. Now let's look at the input box over here. At this place you can type anything. So you can type a bus, car, truck, anything you can type here. So this is where you are going to type. It's like a text box where you can type it. There are two options are there. One is OK, that means whatever you have typed it's going to go, and other one is the cancel. When you have not typed anything and you just want to put cancel, suppose if I press cancel, empty text will go. So if I press cancel, empty text will go. Okay, that's what I want to check. See the user, if the user says cancel, that means he doesn't want to add anything. So this is a text box, you can type anything. So you expect the return statement from this particular input box. What is coming out of this input box is a text, because it is a text here. So I'm going to say whatever, let me close this, I'm going to say whatever you are going to get is a text. So I'm going to say dim, okay, str, you can say equal to, directly you can do, but I'm going to say dim str as a string, and then equal to input box, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what so why did I do that thing? You know very well, whatever that is returned out of the input box, it is going to be a string, and I'm going to store it, and I have to compare it, is it not? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just run it. Okay, so when you run it, just one other thing, when you run it and you click on this cancel button, you are going to get an empty string. So first, if it is an empty string, there is no point in adding an empty string there. So I'm going to just check if str not equal to empty. So that means to say that if there is something in the string, okay, if there is nothing in the string, then there is no point in doing anything. Okay, nothing is there. If the string is blank, empty string is there, what you will compare? Empty string cannot be compared with anything, so there is no point. It should not be empty. There must be, in other words, you should have typed something in this input box. If you have not typed anything in the input box, that means now, for example, you have not typed anything. This is a blank string. What you will compare? With whom you are going to compare? This blank cannot be compared with anything. So what I am saying here is this thing, whatever you have typed, let's say, whatever you have typed here, it should not be blank. Okay, if it is not blank, then only we will do something. Okay, so let me close this, and let's come back. So if it is not blank, what is that you are going to do? You are going to first search for the item. That's what they say, item to be searched and then accepted. So let's search for the item. So how do I do that thing? I'm going to say if I have written the procedure here. What is this procedure? Is found. Is found is going to search, and it's going to say either it is found or it is not found. So it's going to do the work for me. So I'm going to say if is found the string. Okay, if the string is found, then only you can do something. Okay, if the string is found, I'm trying to add. See, look at this one. You have a combo box here. Debug is already there in the list. Can I add one more debug? It is not a great idea. It's already there in the list. Can you add it? Your register number is already there in the list. If you add one more list number, your register number again, will it make a sense? So if it is found, I'm going to give a message to the user saying that the item already exists. So how do I do that? To show a message, we have this message box dot show dot should have been come message box dot show, and I'm going to say item already exists. Okay, and I'm going to give a title. The second part is the title. add new item. Okay, let's say item. Let me make it as all cap, the first letter capital, add new item. Okay, if it is there, I'm going to say item already exists. Otherwise, let's say if the item does not exist, we have to add it. How do you add it? Let's go to the combo box. So this is my combo box. Combo box has a lot of items, and I'm going to add a new item to the combo box. I'm going to say add whatever that is given to me. Okay, and again I'm going to just steal this message from here, and then Control C and Control V here, and item added. Okay, item inserted, item added, you can say anything. Okay, item inserted. Now I think this is not really required, but anyhow, now let me run it. Let me run it and then show. Okay, so there are a few small adjustments that you are supposed to do it. Suppose, let me do it in a polite way. I'm going to add a bus, and then I click OK. It is going to say item inserted. Okay, well and good. See, this is item inserted. So this part is item inserted, and this part is add new item. So this is what it's going to show, and this whole thing is the your message box. Okay, so that is it. Now when I click OK, item is added, but I can't see that item. If you click on this, you see the bus here. Let me add one more item, and I'm going to say car. Okay, click OK. Item inserted, and you see the car. But the problem is when the item is added, let's say I'm going to add one more, and I'm going to say bike, and when I click OK, the bike is actually added, but I can't see it. I want it to be shown here so that the user knows, okay, this item is been added. So how am I going to do it? So once I add this item here, once I add this item, immediately I'm going to say to the combo box that, so combo box, whatever new item that is I'm adding, so let me say whatever new item I'm adding, select that item. So I'm going to say selected, where is this selected item? Okay, selected item is equal to string. Now what is the difference it's going to make? It's going to add that item, no doubt. Here it's going to add that item, and after that it's going to select that item, so that it's going to appear. Can you see here, this one, this is actually the selected item. This is selected item, but whereas in our case it was coming as blank there. So I want it to be selected. So let's go ahead and let's do this part. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to say add, and I'm going to say bus again. So this time look at the idea. You are adding, no doubt you are adding here. So when I say add, you see that bus is selected here. Okay, so bus is selected. So if I add one more item and say car, and if I add it, you see that car is selected. How did that particular thing happen? That happened because you told the combo box that you select that item. Whichever item that I am adding, you select that item. So this is what I have said to the combo box, and that is why it is doing that thing. So when I add that item is selected. It is there in the list as well as it is selected. So this is called as you are selecting an item. You are selecting. So this is what is happening over here. That is for the add. Now again, what if you just press cancel? In that case, nothing is going to happen. It's not going to add a blank thing over here. It's going to just escape out. If you cancel it, this thing is going to work, and it is going to just ignore whatever you have typed. Okay, so let's look at the next part. And the next part is we are supposed to remove the item. So let's go ahead and let's go to the form again. Suppose if you by mistake if you have clicked on the X marks of the form, as usual, go to the Solution Explorer, double click on this form, and it's going to appear back. Okay, let's go to the remove now. Let me double click on this remove. And what is that I am supposed to do when you are removing it? The story remains same as in the previous case. You show the comma box and input box, and you ask for the item, and you check whether the item exists. Up to here the story remains same. Let me start with the here. Okay, and just copy it and then paste it here. So this is what you're going to show. You're going to say the string here. I've just copy pasted it because there's no point in writing. So you show the input box, but this is a remove item. Okay, the this is the title that is the one that appears on the top, that I'm changing it. If it is not blank, then you are going to do something. So usual step, you're going to say if E is found. First you check whether E is found. If E is found, if the string is found, then you are supposed to do something, or else you are supposed to do something. Remember, if the string is found, you are trying to remove it. So when you want to remove it, you have to first ensure that it is already there. If it is not there, how can you remove it? So if it is found, you are going to remove it. Look at the difference. When you add it, it should not exist. Okay, when you remove it, it should exist. If it is there, you will remove it. If it is not there, you are going to add it. So this these two they are reversed kind of thing. Okay, so let's come back to the is found. If it is found, what are we supposed to do it? If it is found, go to the combo box. Okay, go to the combo box, and you say a combo box has a lot of items, and you say I want to remove an item. And when you say I want to remove an item, it's going to say tell me which is the item you want to remove it, and I say the item that the user has given from the combo box, from the input box, whatever item that is given, I want to remove that item. Okay, so you supply the item, and to remove that item, as usual, I'm not going to type this whole stuff again and again. I'm going to just rob something from the other code. So you show the item, and you say the item removed, not inserted. So I've just copy pasted it, and I'm going to say remove item. Okay, done. Otherwise, what is that you are going to do? Otherwise, what you are going to do? Otherwise, again, you are going to give the thing. Okay, item is not found, or I can say item does not exist. Does not exist. Okay, so again you say remove item. This is the title. Okay, so remove item. Let's run it and just see what you can do. I'm going to just run it, and I'm going to add the item. So I'm going to add a bus now. So you say add bus. So it's a bus 1, add car, and you say add it. Okay, and you notice that you have bus and car is there, and I'm going to say remove. So I'm going to say remove scooter. Okay, so what is the message I must get? Scooter is not there in this list. So if I click OK, I'm going to say item does not exist. So in this list, from where did I get that item does not exist? You try to search for the item, and it is not found. If it is not found, you say item does not exist, and this is the title that you are going to get it. Okay, item does not exist. Suppose if I want to remove the bus from this list, so I want to remove this bus from the list, I'm going to say remove, and I'm going to say bus. Click OK, and it is going to say item remove. Okay, so where did you get this item removed? So this is the whole thing is your message box. This whole thing is your message box. Inside this you have item removed, and this is the title that you see over here. The third one is the title. So you have 3 different things. Let's click OK, and if you notice this item is removed. Suppose if I click on again, and if I say remove the car now and click OK, the car is removed. Okay, car is removed, but it is still there in the list. Oh, so what are you going to do? So item has been removed, but it is still there in the list. One thing you can do is when you remove an item, you can say that don't select anything. The why car was there is car was selected. So suppose if I add a bike now, what is this one? Okay. Suppose if I click on add and if I say bike now, so let's say bike now. See the car is there now. So people may get confused. Item is inserted, but when they click on it, the car is not there. That is a bit confusing, is it not? Now bike is there. See in the list, bike is there. Okay. Now I'm going to remove this bike. Say remove this bike and click OK. And what you notice is bike is removed actually. It is removed from the list. Nothing is there, but that is still being shown. What to do in this case? Okay. In this case, you can say that don't select. Okay. So when you before you remove any item, I'm going to just close it. Before you remove any item, I'm going to tell my combo box here. So I'm going to go to this combo box and I'm going to tell the combo box selected item is nothing. So nothing is null in your C programming. You had this nothing. You don't select anything. Let's see what is the idea, what you are going to get here. So when I run it, I'm going to add, first I have to add it. So I'm going to say, I'm going to add a bike and I'm going to add bus. Okay, I'm going to add bus. Maybe I'm going to add car. Okay, done, added. Okay, now you see there bus is there, car is there, anything. I'm going to remove this bus. So let me say click on remove and I'm going to say bus. Click OK. It's a item removed and you see nothing. Select nothing is there. Nothing. Select nothing means it will not select any item. Now suppose if I can select it, doesn't mean that I can select it. I can always select it, but as of now nothing is selected. Hope you get the idea. So let me go here and let me select this car and I'm going to remove this car itself now. So I say car, you see it is car is there, still it is there. I'm going to say remove this car and I'm going to say OK. You see nothing is selected. Where is the car? Car is gone. Okay, and I think okay, I think my machine was slow, but okay, it just got hung up there. Okay, you are left with the bike here. So let me go here and let me say remove this bike also. Click OK. Removed. There is nothing. Your list is empty. You can't select anything. Your list is empty. So this is done. Last part. The next part. We are supposed to search. Double click on this one and let's search for the item. So this is the third button. Double click on it and then you have the search for it. How do you search it? I'm going to do the first part is same. So you show the input box. The story remains same and you say whether it is found. So in the input box enter the item name and you are going to search item. Okay, if it is blank you don't take any action. Next one is if is found. As usual you can again copy paste this one also, but I'm not I'm typing it. Okay, then if it is found, you have found, you are searching for an item now. If the item is found, you show that say that the item exists. Okay, if it is found, you say that a particular item exists at a particular position and then search for it. So you give the first of all the thing is you select that item so that they know that particular item is selected. So you go to this combo box and you know how to select an item. So selected item is equal to string and then you show a message box and within this message show this message box and within this message box you say that item is found. I'm going to go one step ahead at the let's say at position. Let's say okay, I'm not getting any good word at position and I'd give the position. Is it no? How am I going to get the position? I'm going to concatenate. I'm going to go to the combo box again, and I've already selected, so I'm going to go to the combo box. Where is this combo box 1? And I'm going to say combo box 1. I'm going to say selected index. Okay, you know index always starts from 0. So let me slightly show it to you. See, this is at index 0. You know the array, are you familiar with that story of this array? In the array, first item is item of 0. This first item is 0, second item is 1, third item is 2. So in your C program you started with an array, and in the array you said the first item is array of 0. This is called as index, even though you say this is first item, but its index is 0, and its index is 1, its index will be 2, and so on and so forth. So index is always 1 less than the actual count. This is the first item, but its index is 0. This is the second item, but its index is 1. So our index will be always 1 less than what actually we are counting. So I am compensating that by putting 1 extra. So this is the first item, but its index is 0. So I add 1 to it. This is the second item, but its index is 1. So I add 1 to it. So say that it is the particular item is found at that particular position. Otherwise, so let's go to the otherwise story. What is the otherwise story? If the item is found, well and good. If the item is not found, else, I'm not going to type this whole stuff again. I can always copy paste it, Control C, and I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to say item is not found. And this auto position and all these things are not really required. And I'm going to say item is not found. By the way, I have not given the title. Let me give a title here. So how I have given the title? See here, I have given search item, remove item. I have to suppose give the item there. I think search item again. Here also search item. Okay, so there is, I think, double. Okay, search item, and let's make it everything proper. Search item, this is the title. Okay, the first one is the text, the other one is the title. Suppose if you're getting it confused, I'm going to just pull it down here so that you can see it in the one full screen. So this is what you're supposed to do it. Okay, let me take it back. So it is there, but don't get confused, it's there. Okay, let's run it and let's see. Let's add few items and then check whether the things are there. I'm going to add an item. I'm going to say add. I'm going to add bus. Okay, and I've added. I'm going to add one more item. I'm going to say car, and I'm going to say okay, added, and I'm going to add one more, say bike. Okay, item added. My machine is a bit slow. Okay, suppose if I add bike again, what is going to happen? I'm going to get a message saying the item already there. Bike is already there. Don't add it one more bike. Only one item is allowed. So we have three: bus is there, car is there, bike is there. This you have added. Now I'm going to search for a scooter. So search. So you see this. This is your input box. The whole thing is your input box, and you said item. Enter the item name, and this is the title. What you get? Search item. Okay, so let me say I want to search for the scooter. Click OK, and what you notice, item not found. So this one, the whole thing is your message box. Item not found is here, and the search item is this one. Hope you get that. That's the title. Okay, three things are going to come. So let's go, click OK, and I'm going to search for one more time, and I'm going to search for car. Click OK, and it must say, you notice that car is selected. Okay, it must say item is found in the position 2. So from where do you get that thing? Item is found. Look at this whole thing is you know very well. This whole thing is a message box. Item is found. This part is there. Item is found at the position. How did you get this at the position? This is the combo box. index plus 1 at position 2. Okay, and this whatever I've typed here is going to come to this one, that's a title. So is it true? It is found at the position 2. If I click here, and if you notice, this is the first position, this is the second position. I am talking from our side, not from the index 1. So it has index 0, this is index 1, index 2, but position is 2. So that is what you are getting it. So let's go to the last part. And what is this last part that we are supposed to do is, let's go to this last part. And in the last part, I am supposed to clear all the items. Let me double click on it, and we are supposed to clear every item from the combo box. So first of all, I will do the, remember, whenever I remove an item, what did I say? Selected item is nothing, so that everything is blank. Okay, and then you go to the combo box again, and you say there are a lot of items are there in the combo box, right? Not item, height, a lot of items are there in the combo box, and you say to the combo box is clear all the items. This is a method, clear all the items. So this is just a method that's going to clear all the item from the combo box list. So let me run it for the last time. You have the combo box with you, and I'm going to add a new item. I'm going to add a new item. Where is this item? Is a bus. I have added, and then I'm going to add one more item, car. Let me add only 2 items. You have 2 items in the list, and maybe you can select bus, car, or anything. Something is been selected, and I'm going to say clear everything. When I say clear everything, nothing has to be selected. So clear everything, nothing is selected, and there are nothing is there. You have cleared all the item. Okay, that's all you are supposed to do it in this one. In this exercise, we are supposed to add, remove, search, and clear the items. That's it. We have done it using the input boxes, and with this we are going to end this exercise. Thank you for your interest, and we will meet again in the next class. Thank you.